Oh, hello. Mystic Brew here with another reading for you. I actually have no idea what this reading is about. I'm feeling career, finance, but also Capricorn, so I'm always about the bag. But we'll see. We'll see what this reading is about and pull some cards. I just felt like getting on here and doing a little something, something. Hopefully, this won't be a million hours long, but you know I love to talk and you know I love to do all the things. So, we are also going to be having a refreshment during this reading. I have my TBD green tea lemonade. This is THC and CBD friendly. No, I have not had any of it yet. This is just me. Thank you. But this is their green tea lemonade in mellow. So it is a 4 to 25 ratio THC to CBD. I actually really like it. I'm an affiliate. Okay. They did not have an affiliate program. And then I said, hey, I love your products. Create an affiliate program so I can promote it. So, link is in the description below if you want to check it out. All right. Ooh, okay. Lots going on. One isn't there. Let's see what this reading is about. Spirit of the highest light and unconditional love. Whoever summoned me, can you please let me know what this reading is about so we can get into it? Please and thanks. Oh my gosh. Destiny. Oh, no pressure. Obstacles and challenges. Okay. Spiritual card. Oh, deception and envy. Mental card. Harmony at the top. My back's hurting. Got the weight of the world on your shoulders or what? Can you tell me more about destiny, please? Okay, relax, first of all. Can you tell me more about this destiny card, please? And thank you. Memories of love. Suffering in silence, a mental card. Awareness. And more on obstacles and challenges. Discontent and boredom. Burping. I think this is a love reading. All right. You know what? I am just the vessel. Positive movement forward. We love to see that. Sacral chakra. Creativity, healing, sexuality, sensuality, movement to the body. Ooh, something's happening quickly. My back is hurting, y'all. Okay. Is this you? Is this me? Is this we? I don't know. It's like right behind the heart space. Feels really tense. All right. I might have to get my love deck out for this, but maybe not. Maybe what I got is what I need. There is something, you might be seeing 1010 a lot when it comes to your destiny. It feels like you are doubting a part of your journey because of the struggles that you have gone through in the midst of getting here. But what feels like is coming through, and obviously we'll get into the other cards and see, is the obstacles and challenges that you experienced and that you have faced were not to steer you away from your path. It was meant to sharpen you. There is a level of knowing that you have now, given your experiences and what you have gone through, which for whoever I'm talking to feels both material challenges, so it could be finances, work, housing, friendships, relationships, whatever. But also, I think you've gone through some really eerie, weird shit. I think you've seen and experienced things that perhaps you haven't even shared with people because you're like, they'll think I'm freaking crazy. However, there was always like a north star is what's coming up. Even if you didn't know what it was, there was something that was always guiding you. And even in the moments when you felt like, am I losing it? You might have been, but you were losing what was never in alignment with where you were always meant to go. I feel a sneeze coming on. The obstacles and challenges, which were spiritual, almost like it feels like a spiritual battleground training, was meant to show you experiential evidence. You know, I like that term of what you are capable of overcoming. It was never meant to break you. It was meant to show you how determined, how resilient, how persistent, how truly tapped in you are, so that when your destiny unfolds, which it's already doing, it feels like, you approach this calling with so much confidence that you no longer let doubt get in the way. Doubt may be something that you have experienced a lot in your life. And weirdly, I don't think that anyone would have guessed that for you. I don't think that you're someone people think doubts themselves. I think you come off pretty confident. In fact, I think you might be someone who people tend to go to when they need a sounding ear or like some advice, some guidance, a clearer perspective. I think you're very good at doing that for other people, but it's been a little harder for yourself. And the reason it's been difficult for yourself is because you also hear the voices in here. Remember, we saw that deception and envy card, which is a mental card. And so there is a part of you that gets caught up in the guidance that you're getting and the voices that you're hearing, which is usually doubt. There's fear still. This may have something to do with the past, something that happened in the past, specifically with someone that you loved. Could be family, could be a relationship, friendship. It might be all of it. It just might be intimacy in general. Whenever you've let someone come really close, perhaps you've experienced not so great things. And that created fear for you. But even then, it's like with the awareness, part of me wanted to say you're gaining awareness. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, I make sure to get clarity on what this awareness is. And then right after that, I heard it was this. The experiences you had with other people, regardless of what the relationship was, it was discernment. It was teaching you discernment. My universal truth is that everyone has a role to play. The world is a stage, and we are all just actors in it, fulfilling the role that we signed up to play before we reincarnated, whether we remember or not. There is spiritual discernment that you needed to ground into this life. And unfortunately, for whoever I'm talking to, that came through a lot of really difficult lessons with the people closest to you, what feels like coming in between you and your self-trust. There's a lot of noise happening outside, so I apologize if you can hear that. Although this mic is pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Shout out to Blue Yeti. There is something that is coming together for you at this time, correlating to your destiny. Now we have spiritual union, an emotional card here. And then we have accelerated motion. So very quickly, divine timing. And then we also have discontent and boredom. Okay. When things are not happening, meaning you can't see it yet, I think you get in this mode where you're just like, nothing's happening. Something's wrong. And okay. Lots of things are coming through really quickly. Something that you have struggled with is consistency. You struggle with consistency because you want things to happen when you want it to happen. Great. I get it. I get it. However, you have been on a path of delayed gratification on purpose. And I think you know that because I think there's a part of you that's also like, what the heck is going on? I know this is not my life. I know I am meant for something else. I know I'm meant for something greater. I know that there is something waiting for me. The challenge that you have had to face time and time again is showing up even when you're not getting anything in return. You are only consistent when you're getting something back. And the thing that's coming up with this is you give up too easily. You are meant to choose the path that lights you up, regardless of the immediate, what am I trying to say? The immediate return. You're also being shown how the second there is a delay or a pause, or again, the timing is not what you want, you're so quick to doubt the entire journey, everything, all the work you just put in, all the energy you've invested, everything, and just be like, well, I guess this isn't it. I'm going to go do something else and give up on this. And listen, I'm not saying that to judge or shame anybody because that's a very difficult thing to discern. One of the hardest questions that so many of us ask is, do I try harder or do I give up? Is this for me and it's just not the right time? Or is this like, bye, this isn't for me. This is not aligned. And perhaps that's something you struggled with. Maybe you found yourself devoting to things that ended up not being for you, or, struggling with letting go and then questioning, was that actually for me? Whatever that was. Trust and know, as you've probably heard many times before, when something is for you, it is for you. You will not miss it. It is written. That's my tattoo on my side. Maktub. It is written. It has been ordained for you. If it continues calling you, it is for you. There is something about releasing control and letting go of the doubt and trusting in the unfolding of your destiny. And perhaps you make things a little more difficult because the second you feel a hint of stagnation, or what you perceive to be stagnation, you're ready to throw in the towel. It's giving, as an example of what I'm seeing is like, if you post something on social media and it doesn't get like 100 likes right away, you're like, delete the post. You just become like ashamed almost of the fact that, okay, It's shame of vulnerability. Wow, all my back pain went when I said that. Oh, praise Jesus. Thank you. That's what it is. You may have trouble receiving, which again, I like to remind people when you have trouble receiving, it's because it's more vulnerable. Being a giver always is a very convenient mechanism to shield yourself from the fear of receiving because when you're giving, you're telling your ego, oh my God, look at me. I'm such a good person. I keep giving, 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 giving. What's actually happening, not to say that you're not a good person for giving, we love givers, and you get to maintain control because you are initiating. When you are in a place where you are being asked to receive, hands off, because you're also being asked to remain steady and still and attract instead of chase. Do you see? Giving, receiving, chasing, attracting. However, you may have had experiences in the past, and again, we'll get into the cards and see, where it feels like you really went after something or you really like put a lot of energy, hope, faith, whatever, some form of investment into something, and it didn't turn out how you thought. And that created so much doubt in you, in your ability to discern, in your willingness to invest, and in your willingness to be vulnerable and to be seen. Still, I do feel like for whoever I'm talking to, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I feel like this is all information that you are maybe just now really coming to grips with. I think what I'm seeing is like you putting a lot of pieces together to be like, oh, that's why this happened. That's why this happened. Okay, this is why, this is what's actually going on. What I'm also hearing is your suffering has not gone unnoticed. I think there have been times where you may have felt abandoned by the universe or sort of just left out in the cold, and that created some anger, understandably. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. So 3, 7, 3 and 7 are the only numbers that didn't come out, which weirdly enough, I feel like those might be the two numbers that are more significant for you, are 3 and 7, which makes sense because there's something about a collaboration or coming together and it being very spiritually guided. Oh, cutting to solar plexus, and there's the 3. Okay. So now that we know what this reading is about, let's get into it. Oh, do I even want this deck? No. Let's go to the celestial bodies, get some astrology, perhaps some numerology. If that resonated with you, obviously stay, but we're going to get some more signifiers. Side note, I really love how this deck shuffles because I'm very picky about that. Also, while we do this, I launched a greeting card line. It is spiritual and sassy and includes some general cards, but also a zodiac line. I'm releasing 3 signs at a time right before their season. So Aries, Taurus, and Gemini are up now. The zodiac birthday cards, I kind of roast y'all a little bit, all in good fun. But those are available on my site, linked below. They are manufactured in Europe, so shipping is not great. It takes time and the shipping cost is not my favorite. However, this is the opportunity that I have to do it. Yes, Capricorn. Shout out to all my Capricorns. Um, so that's what we're gonna do until and unless there's an investor who wants to just throw money at me. So all of my business ideas, which I have an Excel sheet of, can come to life. Anyway. Oh gosh, Capricorn energy. It's just like, let me be a freaking multi-hyphenate mogul already. You can't see it. That's what it says. Multi-hyphenate mogul. I did not choose that. Playboy gave me that title for a piece I wrote for them. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take that. All right. Astrology of the person who this message is for, please. What are some indicators so they know this is for them? Oh my goodness. So that was a lot. All right, let's just start there. Mars on the bottom. Things are happening. Action. Saturn return at the top. You may be going through your Saturn return right now, which means your Saturn is in Pisces. You may be about to go through your Saturn return, which means your Saturn is in Aries, or perhaps your Saturn return is just significant to this. Okay. Interesting. I feel like this does have to do with work. Work. It's like your calling, the work that you are being called to do in this life. Your destiny is part of that, or that is a part of your destiny. We have second house here, 12th house, ninth house, your IC, usually in the fourth house, Gemini, and Earth. So you may have prominent Earth signs, or Earth signs may rule your second, 12th, ninth, or IC. Gemini may also rule those houses for you if this is for you. Oh man, my back pain came back. I'm getting a message through this as well. Whatever this journey has been for you, playing up above, which ninth house, travel, foreign travel, world travel. Um, you needed to bring a lot of things into balance for this next chapter of your life. With Earth here, yes, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus energy for sure. But also, what I'm getting is with Earth and Gemini here, you were a student for most of your journey. I mean, I believe we're always students, but you really had to learn a lot on this journey, both about yourself, about your roots, your ancestry, your emotional roots, your home life, your parents. You may have gone through a really deep exploration of your lineage, your bloodline, your culture, your heritage to better understand what you came from. Again, your IC, your fourth house, that's the lowest part of your chart. It is your foundational house. Ninth house, higher learning. You may have studied different philosophies, different beliefs, different religions. You may have traveled to different countries, learned about different cultures. Second house, you may have had some lessons when it comes to your material resources, your self worth coming up here. And we talked about receiving, because again, second house is not just net worth, self worth. So, something about also how you perceive yourself in connection to your material resources. So there may have been some lessons around finances here for you, your attachment to finances and how you equate that with your identity. And then 12th house, whoever I'm talking to, you had some deep shadow work. Goodness. Very spiritual. You might also have had a lot of time in isolation, but you really went into the unconscious. I think you also are really tapped into the collective unconscious. I think the energy around you really affects you. And not just in like oh, I'm an empath and I can't handle that right now. I think you really pick up on like the world's energy. So it's a lot. It's a lot. And yet, I want to remind you, if this was your training ground, my goodness, your destiny is huge. Your spiritual awakening was gnarly. You may astral travel a lot as well. Very lucid dreaming. You may indulge in psychedelics because the artwork on here makes me think of psychedelics, but you have ventured beyond this realm in one way or another. That's what I meant earlier when I was saying, like, I think you've had some experiences that you're like, well, I'm gonna keep this to myself. Um, okay, yeah, you needed to balance. That makes sense with the spiritual union card as well. You really needed to balance your yin and yang, your masculine and feminine. There was a merging that's been happening internally. And in order for that to occur, it almost feels like you went on a mind bending, spiritually mystic pilgrimage between the realms to course correct, to clear karma, to close out different timelines, different lives that were creating interference for you. What I'm also hearing is there may have been, oh yeah, reclaiming fragments of your soul. So it's like, it's almost like there were pieces of you trapped in time and space, and you needed to like go back and get it all, call it all home so that you could be here now, which is the only time that exists. What I'm also getting is you may have been a daydreamer. You still might daydream, but I think as a child, you really got lost in your own world. That may have been a coping mechanism for you, depending on your upbringing. But also, I think you're just a highly imaginative person. And I think that's something that has also created some hardship for you because it really blurred the lines when it came to understanding reality, for lack of a better term. I'm seeing the Seven of Cups in my mind's eye. It's like you loved. It's interesting because it's like you loved being adventurous, but not here. So, ooh, excuse me. That makes sense with the sacral chakra coming out too. You may be highly creative, and that was part of your creativity. You would create stories. You might be a writer, a performer, a singer, musician. I don't know. Maybe all of it. I don't know. Either way, you would go into other worlds based on the stories you would create. And it feels like this is a gift that you have. However, sometimes I think it worked against you because it made it that much more difficult to discern what was real and true versus what was not. A little bit of chaos there. I want to see if there's anything else. Anything else? Sixth house. We have damn near the whole chart here. Pisces. Funny, I was thinking of Pisces. Oh my goodness. Okay. Uranus on the bottom, sudden change, upheaval, transformation. I'm telling you, things are going to happen quick. Ooh. Okay. Some other astrological signifiers. This is going to be a lot because we have pretty much almost every house on the board. Okay. You may have Pisces ruling your ninth house, 12th house, second house, sixth house, fourth house with your IC. You may have Jupiter in Pisces, Jupiter in your ninth house, Jupiter in your 12th house, second house, sixth house, or conjunct your IC, or in an earth sign. You may have Jupiter in Gemini, your sun in Gemini, your sun in Pisces, in any of these houses, ninth, 12th, second, sixth, conjunct the IC. And then we also have one here. Lots of circles coming up. There's a full circle moment here, but also a completion. This last full moon, which was an eclipse, may have really closed out a cycle for you or activated the closing out of a cycle for you. There is a sense of completion that's happening here so that you can begin again. One, fresh slate, new beginnings. And with Jupiter here and the sun here and sixth house coming out, this may have to do with work, sixth house, but it just feels like there is expansion and there is a spotlight, which may be uncomfortable for some of you. But it feels like you're really going to shine. And again, I almost feel like this is going to happen like, oh, I don't know about overnight, but it's going to feel that way. Well, okay, maybe not. Maybe not for you because you've been putting in so much work. But when I say that, what I mean is, and again, that's why your consistency was so important. You, like I mentioned, would give up the second you felt like, well, this isn't going anywhere. The universe is about to show you. If you are just patient, my child, and you continue to show up for the things that light up your soul, that you know you are meant to do, that you know you're good at, that give you that sense of expansion and optimism and wealth, watch how quickly I can turn that around for you. Again, timing, although it's not real, is important here. And the timing was important because you needed to go through a set of initiations and maturation in order to show up the way that you are about to show up. The older versions of you, previous versions of you, were not equipped to handle this energy. You would have fumbled it. It would have been too much on you mentally, emotionally, on your body, on your nervous system. You needed to heal your nervous system so that you could sustain this energy. Ground it down. How exciting. Okay, let's see. Maybe seeing repeating ones as well. I want to see what was getting in the way first and then what you're activating now. Right. Do I want to ask what was blocking or what is? I don't, I mean, let's just do both. We'll see. I don't really feel like there's anything blocking you per se right now, but we'll see. Okay, what was blocking this person from their destiny? Please and thank you. Oh gosh. Okay. Uh, uh. First of all, communication. Number 14, cosmic flower. Remembrance of the place we call home, the core from which we pour our magnificence out into the world, sharing who you are. We got root chakra, earth, and third eye chakra. So, earth, the earth element is significant. You may be an earth sign, but also that consistency. That is what earth signs teach us. You're welcome. Responsibility, maturity, discipline. Ooh, excuse me. And then root chakra and third eye chakra, which makes sense because we kind of touched on this. The healing work, and we talked about all those houses. The healing work for you was, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I talk about. It's the descension in order to sustain the ascension. And again, before I even elaborate on that, I want to remind you my belief, which is subject to change upon new information. Ascension is not the ultimate goal. That is where you come from. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're not trying to go back to where you were from, you're trying to integrate and embody. So the descension, going into our roots, root chakra, our ancestry, our home, our childhood, our upbringing, our lineage, our safety, our security, our stability, our material presence. I have a right to be here, rooted, the roots of the tree, down underground, your shadow work journey. That is your descension. So many people focus on ascension. I talk about this all the time, but your roots aren't good. So even if there was growth, it's gonna topple over. The universe was guiding you down first. Again, that 12th house, 12th, fourth house, you may have felt like you were behind or lagging or you missed the train or something, but you were on a very unconventional, unique path that was designed for you. And that required you to go down first. You went to the underworld. You went into your personal hell to see what's going on. The frequency of the root chakra, the red flower of life, stimulates passion and supports our sense of security on this physical plane, both in our bodies as well as in the physical world. So you may have had a lot of body trauma that you needed to heal. Again, like I was saying, versions of you in the past would not be able to sustain what is about to be given to you. Your nervous system was shot. You weren't comfortable in your body. You didn't want to be here. You kept flying away, and you needed to be here. And so you went on a journey and you called back all the parts of yourself through space and time. You engaged with interactions in order to close out any karmic debt so that there was nothing tied to you that could pull you away from what is your destiny. There is a sense of security and stability that you needed to harness within yourself in order to fully experience it in this realm. At the same time, you had your third eye opening. Again, you've had some experiences. You probably felt crazy. Join the club, whatever. Your eye opened. You saw things other people didn't. Your intuition heightened. And you were like, what is this? Because you are not integrated in the body. That level of awakening, when you are not grounded, Earth can create a lot of obstacles, including psychosis. It's a huge surge of energy that your body may not have been equipped to handle. So things start getting really freaking weird and you kind of lose your mind a little bit. The frequency of the third eye chakra, the indigo flower of life, supports our intuition and our inner knowing, our imagination, and our psychic powers. We all have this, FYI. But like anything else, if you don't use it, you lose it. So it's just another muscle that you are being asked to exercise so that you can discern between your intuition and your fear, that deception, that envy. The frequency of Earth activates our deep connection to this physical plane by showing us the beauty of all the aspects of our Great Mother and revealing the more ethereal spiritual aspects of our nature. So back to my tree, ascension, descension. Your descension secured your foundation. It allowed you to build the roots so that your ascension could happen because it's big. It's a big tree. Big tree requires strong roots. In order for this to stand the test of time, to grow and not topple over, you needed to do the work that others will not. And perhaps they don't need to. Maybe that's not part of their experience here. But like I said earlier, whatever you got going on in this life here, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And so it took a journey that not many understand or perhaps needed to go down. But like I mentioned, ascension is not the goal. It is part of the experience. But what you are actually doing is you now have access to the top and to the bottom, and you can go get gems, bring them here. You are constantly moving between realms, gathering insight, gathering knowledge, and bringing it here. And what you're not realizing is happening is you are helping cultivate balance in this realm because you're not pulling from one end. You're doing both. You're someone who has access to both realms. I don't like doing it like this. I'm thinking of the tree, but I feel like when I do this, people automatically are like, oh, heaven and hell. Not necessarily. We can even do left and right. It's just opposite ends of the spectrum. And when you think of it as opposite ends of the spectrum, if one end has a bad reputation and creates shame and judgment for anybody who dares to go to that end of the spectrum, most people aren't going to. And so it's skewed. Do you see what I say? You probably faced a lot of resistance as well from people around you, perhaps some judgment, some criticism, whatever else, for the fact that you were not afraid to go to either side. Maybe you're over on this end and it's like, intuition, spirituality, who do you think you are? Okay, well, I got some shit I got to do over here. Or maybe you were over here and it's like, what are you doing over there? Like with these vices and these experiences or whatever. I don't know. Whatever else. Judgment on either end for going where the other will not go. What you're doing is finding the sweet spot in the middle. You are the balance this world needs. You are the embodiment of that. That is part of your destiny. Everything that you create from this place is bound to help shift the poles because it's being created from this place. So your destiny, your purpose, as I like to say, is not about your work. It is the fact that it's you doing whatever you want to do. Because you're already getting the call. You know what it is that your soul is yearning to do. And you're doing it. And perhaps one day it'll change. And the only reason, not the only reason, but one of the reasons that I hesitate when people tend to immediately attach purpose to their career is what happens when that no longer aligns. What if you're doing something as a career for 40 years and one day you realize, I hate this shit? If that becomes your purpose, do you feel like you're going to be as open to even considering allowing yourself to live something different? That is the shadow at work. It creates attachments to things that keep us shackled. Your purpose is not your job because your job can change. Your purpose is not what you do because what you do can change. It's how you do it. So it doesn't matter if it's the job you go to every day, the creations that you create, the role you play in your family, the role you play in your friendships, whatever, the role you play in this world. Your purpose is the way you bring it to life. It's the energy that you put into every situation. And your journey is helping you integrate and embody balance so you can show up in the world balanced. And your purpose is to help that inspire others to seek balance themselves. And when you do that, that is when we experience harmony in the world. Do you see what I say? Do you follow? You don't change the world by trying to change the world. You change yourself. And when you change yourself to be the change that you seek, you inspire others to do the same, whether you realize it or not. It's the pebble that creates the ripple. It's the dye in a cup of water. All it takes is one vibration, one entity to do things differently, and everything will change. So, your focus has predominantly been on you, and that may have also been difficult because it required you to maybe disappoint other people, let other people down, challenge other people, whatever it is. But that was because, again, your journey was unique for you. You were being called places they were not. The beautiful thing is you always picked up the call. You may have been hesitant. You may have delayed, not delayed because it's always on time, but like you may have felt a type of way about the entire experience. Kicking and screaming maybe. But either way, you went, you did it. Of course you did because it's your destiny. January 24th, June 24th, June 14th, January 14th, January 6th, June 1st. Maybe significant dates. All right, so that was what was in the way. You needed to learn that. Let's see what you're activating now. Universal love. 44. Might be seeing repeating fours. In case anyone is wondering, no, it's not hitting yet. If you've ever watched my videos on like Egypt and I talk about how I took a gummy on the sleeper train because you saw that sleeper train. And if you didn't, go watch that video. I was like, oh, this isn't happening. I'm not getting any sleep here. There's a lot going on and I don't know if I like it. And then one of my travelers was like, hey, I work for this company. I brought some stuff. Would you like a gummy to help you sleep? And I said, yes, please. And lo and behold, it was a lot stronger than my usual. You know what I'm saying? So I was in that sleeper train, first of all, as if it was like a Liam Neeson movie, because I was just like, what is about to happen? Who are these strangers that keep walking back and forth? You know, just the paranoia a little bit. And then laughing, hysterics. And then I got emotional because I had a moment where, you know, we were all huddled and talking, and I had like that moment of realization where I was like, oh my God, we're in Egypt. Like we are on a train in Egypt going from Cairo to Luxor. And I am with a group of women, some of whom just traveled to a foreign country for the first time by themselves, don't know people. And I'm just like, I was overwhelmed with so much love and admiration. And I just started crying to the group. And I was like, I just want you guys to know that it is like so brave what you did to come. And I'm so appreciative. And then I had a conversation with Isis because of course I did. Anyway, so that's my story. That's my introduction to TBD, and now we're longtime friends. So, what are you activating right now? Oh my goodness, emergence. Oh, that's beautiful. My goodness. If that's sacral, I'm gonna scream. Sacral. I'm not gonna scream though because I actually respect my neighbors, unlike my neighbor. But that's another story for another time. What are they activating right now? Yeah, so you're sick. You may be doing womb healing as well. And again, I know that sounds like it's just for women, but it's not. Maybe healing a lot of mother stuff, mom stuff might be coming up, motherhood, your maternal lineage, your relationship with your mom. I guess that's what it is. Remembrance on the bottom. Again, communication at the top. Even though it didn't come out, the throat chakra feels significant here. So that might be part of your work is using your voice in some way. Okay, so what you are activating right now, emergence and sacral chakra. Emergence, the frequency of emergence invites us to approach our reality with a childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment. It's seeing the magic again. And to watch and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from that place. And then sacral chakra. The frequency of the sacral chakra, the orange flower of life, supports our ability to flow with our desires. Oof. And stimulates our creative power to manifest success and abundance in our lives. Yeah, I feel like you were almost willing to settle. Like you were willing to settle in a life where you were, it feels like across the board. So you may have almost settled with a partner who could have provided you material stability and security, a job that gave you material security and stability or something. I feel like you never really had that. And so you were chasing that. And I think you were almost willing to settle in a life that gave you that, but it would cost you this, that passion, that creativity, your desires, your pleasures in the world. And you were like, no. Again, there was a part of you that always knew you don't have to settle for this. Because again, the desire is not coming from nowhere. It's coming from the part of yourself that's already experiencing it. And instead of staying on a timeline where you would just wonder, you did the work, you went back, you did all of that to find the version of you and integrate and embody that version of you that was living it. You were done imagining it, you're ready to live it. But again, that required you to heal a lot of things, especially like nervous system and body keeps coming up. You may have gone through a lot of body healing, or even what I'm seeing is like issues, like ailments in the body because it was signaling trapped energy, some form of chronic pain, but it was all stuck in the body. And so you needed to release. Your releasing of all that energy in the body is what's creating space. And I say creating space, but again, energy never dies, it just transmutes. And so the energy that was stuck, you have broken apart, and now it is able to form a new thing, a new energy. That's that emergence. What I'm also being guided to share is we talked about the mind, right? Doing what it does. And with emergence here, it feels like you're being reminded to remember. I'll read that card in a second. To remember that innocence that you had as a child, like your ability to see everything like magic, the wonder, the excitement, the adventure, that optimism. Children are great teachers of that. They remind us of what we're missing because we're so stuck in our head. Meanwhile, they're over here like, whoa, this is new. And I am curious. Stay curious. But instead of being curious about what could go wrong, be curious about how good can this get? Show me how good it can get. I feel excited. I mean, you could tell my energy in this reading is different. And again, it's not anything other than like, I'm just feeling this excitement. I'm feeling like the energy ramping up, which makes sense. You know, Aries season is around the corner. But this feels good. And it also just feels like, finally, just you deserve this, is all I'm trying to say. Remembrance. The frequency of remembrance supports our memory of everything that we have gone through as a soul in body, providing us with valuable information and tools to flow gracefully with and in this life. See, the wisdom was always in the body, and you kept trying to search for it in your mind. And instead, you got lost in the maze. You got stuck. The matrix is here. You got all turned around. And then someone came. It feels like someone swooped in, brought you back to your body, helped you remember. Beautiful. 38 may be significant. So you might be 38 years old, or that's just a significant number for you. 25 and 2, also February 25th, maybe something. Yeah, communication 14. All right. Well, I feel like we I think we got a good handle of it. Let's just get the tarot. Last part. And let's ask for next steps. Okay, universe, what is the advice on next steps for this collective? Please and thank you. No more doubting yourself. We have the High Priestess in reverse, the Five of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. It feels Four of Wands in reverse at the bottom, King of Pentacles in reverse at the top. Your intuition, your insight might be clouded. Good. The Emperor. Okay, that makes sense. This feels like the energy that you are clearing out, and the Emperor is reminding you of who you are. So you need to let go of perfectionism. That's a self sabotage tool. You keep trying to make things perfect. That doesn't exist. What you're actually doing is talking yourself out of doing anything. Let it go. You need to take initiative. You need to be responsible. You need to also be grounded in your decision making. Risk may be involved to some degree, but it doesn't have to be like an overwhelming risk. Are you being impulsive? Are you being reckless? Are you so excited that you're trying to charge ahead? Let it unfold. All it really takes is a decision first. I'm ready. And then let it unfold. When you are being guided to move, move. But don't start running when you were asked to just take a step forward. It feels like there's also a couple things, a fear of confrontation here. Again, communication kept coming up. So I don't know if there's a conversation weighing on you or something, someone you need to talk to, or some sort of conflict or disagreement that needs to be mended. But it feels like this is challenging and it feels like it's tied to your ego. I think your ego has been tested multiple times and you may have a very competitive energy. And so in confrontation, you may unconsciously see it as you versus me. And now it is rivalry, like there is tension. I almost wonder, like, I don't know if it really feels unconscious because I don't know that you realize how competitive you can be with people or things. And again, not maliciously, not in a, oh, I'm going to get you or whatever, but it's honestly what I'm feeling is for whoever I'm talking to, if that is true for you, it feels like you grew up in an environment where people were constantly challenging you on what you knew to be true. And so you adopted this sort of defense mechanism where anytime someone sees something differently or experiences something differently or shares a different experience, whatever, you almost take it as a challenge or like you have to be right because you were never heard. You were never validated. And so you're automatically on defense mode and that's hurting your relationships. Again, there's things you had to go through in the past, go back to revisit so that you're aware of how it's affecting you now, and this is one of them. You may have also been with really combative people in the past, and so you automatically assume that energy. And so it's almost like you brace it, you prepare for it, but what you're not realizing is that energy is still present and the other person can feel it. And so even if you're not actively saying something or acting on that energy, it's still present in the room with you. And so you're kind of being asked to bring the wall down, put the weapons down, and know that you are safe. And also know that should you ever be in a situation where someone is disrespecting you or coming at you sideways or whatever, you are more than capable, Emperor, of handling the situation with tact with grace, with respect, and with control. You may need to disconnect for a bit, whatever that means for you, so that you can hear your inner voice again. Again, it feels like you're confused about something, and it might be because you're getting a lot of opinions or just a lot of insight that's not coming from the divine through you. And so it's creating a lot of dissonance, cognitive dissonance. Remember that you are the emperor, which means you are the authority of your life. So move that way. People are always going to tell you what they think you should do. Should is just could with shame, which means they are trying to tell you what they wished they would have done. That's not your journey. People are always projecting onto us. People want us to live out their unfulfilled desires and dreams that they would never do for themselves. And sometimes it's coming with the purest intentions, but again, it's not their life, it's yours. So what do you want? Who are you living it for? You are focused and you are disciplined. When you tap in, no one can sway you. So do not let them start now. Understand that people all have a say. And especially if it's people close to you, they're going to want to give their input. Sometimes because people don't feel like they know how to love us otherwise. It's like, well, I guess this is what love is. Let me tell you what to do. It's like, actually, no. But anyway, you're getting the guidance. So listen to it. Tap in. You have access. You got source on speed dial. What are you talking to everyone else about? It doesn't matter. Oh, they might feel the type of way. They might judge me. They might, whatever. They're judging you for something else then if they're going to judge you for this. So let them keep judging. That's on them. That's not on you. Who are any of us, anyone, to judge anybody as if we've all led perfect lives? We don't know other people's stories, other people's experiences, the filter in which they perceive life. And yet we are always so entitled to say something about it. And listen, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but it doesn't mean it's truth. And it doesn't mean you got to listen to it. So, whew, I am excited for you. Please let me know in the comments what's going on because I love to know. Tell me everything. And I appreciate you for spending this time with me. As always, if you want to book a one-on-one, link is below in my bio. Check out the greeting cards, get some for your friends. Because shipping is devastating, I recommend that you bulk buy if possible. Like if there's more than one card that you like, I would get them all at once because I think you'd save that way. And then I think that's all the announcements on my end. Newsletter, return to self.me, as you know. I will see you next time. Happy spring equinox. Happy new beginnings, new chapter, new season. The wheel is turning, and it is always turning in your favor.